Yo, what is up, my friends? Welcome to another episode of Dostcast. मेरा नाम है Vinamre Kasana. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe because we release new episodes every Tuesday and Friday at 12 p.m. Indian Standard Time. अगर आप इस podcast को किसी ऑडियो प्लेटफॉर्म पर सुन रहे हैं, make sure you give us 5 stars because we're the best in Bharat. आज के हमारे गेस्ट का नाम है रौनक रजानी. You've seen his stand-up comedy on YouTube. You know him from Comicstaan and his great IP Relationshit Advice. अलग level की conversation about all things comedy, routines, and just fun yaar. Really fun dude. The episode with Raunaq Rajani begins in 3, 2, 1. So it's very cool that you studied law. I had no idea. Or LinkedIn didn't say that at all.
Yo, my LinkedIn has never been updated except for once.
Yeah.
I used to work at East India Comedy.
No, I know that.
Right? And that's the only thing that I've written on my LinkedIn.
No, your LinkedIn also says you were a real estate agent at Rajani Realtors.
Yes, my family business.
Okay. So, and you were also a telecaller, which I found very cool. Ki bhai, matlab, did that help with maybe comedy? Did that help with...
A telecaller at my family business?
No, you were a telecaller. It just says telecaller.
Yeah, because I was a telecaller in like 2 places. One was my dad's business, where I was just like, hello, aapko flat chahiye? And then they would just be like, no. You can't sell a flat on the phone, right? But my dad just wanted to be like, hi, isko kuch karao. The other time I was telecaller was when I was in a PR agency. So then you have to call like different journalists and be like, hello sir, I have this story about this thing we are promoting.
Right.
And John Abraham is also promoting the story with a sugar marathon. And if they're interested, they'll listen. Sometimes they're polite, they're like, yeah, and then they never put it out. But then
This is for press releases? Kind of
press
stuff?
releases, yeah. But then it's like you make like 400 calls and then like 3 days later, like there's this much press coverage of what you said and you're like, fuck yes, I made it. Because the other telecallers are like, अरे यार मेरा तो कुछ नहीं आया.
I thought you ऐसे मेरे को लगा था LIC वगैरह वाला सीन होगा काफी बुरा सा. This sounds like semi cool for a telecaller.
Yeah, it's semi cool, yeah. But LIC तो नहीं बेचा है मैंने.
So would you speak in English ki hey, I'm looking to get this news covered? Like you would just cold call agencies?
Cold call journalists.
Cold call journalists.
Yeah.
Any cool stories from that time?
No real cool stories, but I have Sanjeev Kapoor and Dino Morea's numbers, and I keep seeing their WhatsApp stories.
कितनी weird चीज़ है तुम एक बार randomly से number exchange करते हो. Now you're a part of their WhatsApp story live that you didn't sign up for at all.
Yeah.
You just signed up for like one-on-one communication, maybe a good morning text or a happy new year like once a year, but like that is too much.
No, it wasn't even, dude. I wasn't even in touch with them. Like it was like I was promoting something that they did because of which I saved their number, but I was always in touch with their team or whatever. Yeah. Right. I think I've spoken to Sanjeev Kapoor once. He was very sweet. But that's it. But I see his WhatsApp stories now.
What does he post? Motivational quotes?
I don't know if it's a breach of privacy, but yeah, he just posts like weird shit from home. like you just look at it like you're Sanjeev Kapoor. Stop doing this shit, dude. Stop doing this amateur photos of your house. Dino Morea posts thirst traps of himself on his WhatsApp story, dude. What a loser. You're like 50 years old, dude.
I think he embodies the word hunk. Jo hunk hota tha the word we've retired. But he still I think lives in that.
But wo usko hota hai na, like I'm sure like if you were a hunk, and that was your biggest definition. Like it's not like he did act in movies. I don't remember his movies, but it's not like people knew him for like his great acting. People knew him for his great looks because he's like half Italian or something.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's like half Italian. So it was like he's got these superior genes into our movies.
Right.
But it's like now you also age like Indians and Italians.
Yeah, ऐसा नहीं लगता. मतलब whenever I come to Mumbai, I see so many quote unquote washed up actors. It just and they're in their glory days with like their looks ऐसे style मार रहे होते हैं, ऐसे profile ले रहे होते हैं. I'm like, how are you able to make money till so long कि तुम फिर भी आज भी cool दिख सकते हो 10 साल के बाद जब तुम्हारी पिक्चर भी नहीं आ रही है.
Yeah.
It really just I always wonder how do washed up actors make money.
I don't know. Like I know Dino Morea runs businesses now.
Yeah.
But he still wants to keep up the idea that I'm still that God-gifted beauty, right?
Yeah.
Like I think Fardeen Khan got fat in the middle, which everyone made fun of him, but I thought that was cool. It was like, yeah, fuck you. I don't need to live by. Harman Baweja got fat. I like these people are my heroes, dude.
They make you feel normal, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah, they
everything
do.
is in some kind of a. मेरे 6 packs नहीं है. I'm
Like
not
I tell you
cool.
what, like I don't know if Zayed Khan's a good guy or not, but I'll tell you the story, okay?
Yeah.
Must be a good guy, dude. It's always safe to assume good. So the story is that I was, so, you know, as a comic, sometimes to get stage time in a city when there isn't stage time, this was like maybe 2014, you have to go to a nightclub or a bar and be like, hey, I'm going to get my friends here and we'll perform. Let's make a deal, whatever. So there was this club in Juhu, which, dude, they haven't paid me yet. So it's called a bar called Life. That was the whole name.
Right.
Okay, so fuck them. I'm going to say their name. Okay, and what they did was they told us everything was set. We did like a meeting. I told them I get a few friends. We sold a couple of tickets. We advertised and everything. And because it was in Juhu and that's where all like actors and like ex-actors and models and all live in these type of areas. Suddenly Zayed Khan comes with his friends. Okay.
To see your show?
I don't know if he came to see our show, but he came to the club because it was also happening-ish place. Okay, it was like a Wednesday or Thursday night. He came, and then the manager in his head starts playing these scenarios where all 4 of us comics are going to make fun of this washed-up actor because he thinks we're just maniacs.
Right.
Dude, of course we're not going to make fun of him while he's in the audience, right?
Right.
But he just assumed that. So he said, oh, now we have to cancel the show. And I was like, dude, audience is here. My comedians are here. I have to do the show. What are you saying? Nobody all will make fun of Zayed Khan. I said, that's your fucking bias, dude. That's your fucking bias. But he was like, no. And then we had this fucking, yeah. The point of the story was that Zayed Khan was still very good looking that day. Yeah. And if I would have gone on stage, I would have just said...
Yo, shout out to Zayed Khan in the audience. What's up, guys?
Yeah, that's it, dude. What else would you have said? These people think that comedians just go up to people and say you're a washed up.
You also need material, right? Like beyond saying कि आपकी movies पहले आती थी अब नहीं आती. You can't really say anything else.
Exactly.
Like, what are you going to say?
Exactly. And we're not going to pick on him for no reason, right?
Yeah. Which is again, मतलब I kind of want to get into this. You've been born and brought up in Mumbai, right?
Okay.
है ना? You've seen how the comedy scene works. I saw you on Comicstaan first, right? When you were among the several comedians who rose and then magic happened. But like you're saying, ये show वगैरह cancel वगैरह हो गए ये सब. I know DJs, they say it's horrible to be an artist, underpaid होते हैं, हमारी gig cancel होती रहती है. But देखो यार अब तो IP भी चल रही है, Relationshit Advice और मोटा पैसा भी आ रहा है. तो वो जो switch है, एक struggling comic से अब एक established बढ़िया बंदे में वो कैसे हुआ? And like are there like because this cancellation must be one of many, right? Where
many.
You're like trying to figure it out. You're a comic, but like the scene isn't as strong, and you're like, we want to do comedy. Give us a shot.
And also, do the thing about comedy is that when you tell somebody you're a comedian and you're not famous, which means you've not proved yourself as a comic. So people see laughter as an involuntary reaction. Right. If I'm a stranger to you and I tell you that, oh, my job is I can make random strangers laugh, it's a challenge to you. Like, oh, you'll just fucking make me laugh.
Even more. हंसा के दिखा.
Yeah, because it's an involuntary reaction. It's like, imagine if I went to people and I'd be like, I can make you all come without touching you all. Right? So automatically your subconscious mind is like, yeah, fuck you, you tell me. Right? So first of all, you can't do a lot of things that need context to you. You have to do a lot of first make them like you, first make them get who you are.
Right.
So and I've been doing stand-up since I got out of school. So I was 15.
You've been doing stand-up since you were 15?
Yes.
So what would that look like? मतलब school के अंदर करना या?
No, got out of school. I got out of school. I got out of school. I had nothing better to do. I lived close to the mall, Phoenix Mall, like maybe 10-15 minutes away. And that's where they were making the first comedy store.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where everything started, right?
But as a 16-year-old, they would allow you to perform?
I always looked older than my age. So,
okay.
So, they just assumed I was older. But then when I got my friends, they were like, who are these kids you're hanging out with?
But were these open mics? Were you trying? Did they have an open mic circuit?
They had open mics. They had... the first time I went there was an audition. This guy called Don Ward owns the place. He used to do auditions first. The British Comedy Store ka yahan pe jo laya tha. So he was very like, oh, you must do everything in English, which all comedians talk about. That
right.
You've not come with the idea of understanding business.
Right.
So you must do everything in English. You must do everything that I like. So
अच्छा वो उस टाइप का जो वैसे prickly से critic होते हैं.
हाँ. So, but that's not good for business. But eventually, people started coming in. Comics started because there was a simultaneous scene like in Bandra. There used to be like bar open mics at this place called Cafe Goa, which is the Den now.
I've been to the Den.
Huh. Yeah, everyone's been to the Den. So that was like Cafe Goa earlier. So there used to be like open mics there. So I was like this 15-year-old loser kid going out there and absolutely tanking. But like that's where I first saw like Aditi Mittal, Sapan, Tanmay, and everyone was like 21, 20, just like at that time no one was doing it because they realized that there's so much money in stand-up. Netflix ko bechenge ek special. That time people were doing it because they were like, I'm a funny kid.
अब तो सब IP बनाते हैं.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've really seen this at the inception of it. इससे पहले like Veerdas was older, right? He was sort of the pioneer at that time. Was he?
Veerdas was older, yes.
Yeah.
Veerdas was older. That time there were 3 people. Before the scene, there were 3 people. Actually, 4 if you count Saurabh Pant.
Yeah.
So there was Veerdas. There was a guy called Ash Chandler. There was a guy called Papa CJ. Papa CJ is still working. They're still kind of relevant.
He's
Veerdas
a motivational coach now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty motivating. There is Veerdas. Veerdas is still in the news.
Yeah.
And Ash not doing too relevantly in stand-up. Ash was actually Ash actually came to one of the open mics that I performed at, and like he was like this guy who came from the US. So he started doing like stand-up at 15 in the US.
That's crazy.
So when I saw him, I was like, oh, this is me grown up, right? And he was like this guy with an accent. And that time, the only people we understood doing stand-up in its purest form were people who we saw on YouTube, right? And he sounded like those people. He's actually a good comic, but so he came to me and he was like, he was like, I'll take you under my wing and I'll mentor you. And that time I was like, my career is going to take off. But he was he had a bit of like, so he was like my first mentor.
Right.
And I was too young. I was like maybe 17. But he was like nuts. He had his own complexes. He has been doing the same fucking joke since 2000. Because from 2000 to 2010, there was nobody else.
So you could just do the same stuff and get laughs.
Yeah, you could do the same stuff, right? You're not putting it on YouTube. You're just going to different rooms. And there's nobody else. So you're not under the pressure. And you're getting like paid a ton. You're getting paid what the whole scene would have gotten paid just for being you.
Really? मतलब बहुत lucrative था क्या? जैसे real estate boom था 2000s के अंदर ऐसे
It's only 3 people.
Right.
It's only 3 people. And then Saurabh Pant also paved the way for himself by actually doing it like because he worked like how any one of us have done it. He worked with Veer.
Right.
Then he came on MTV and did a bunch of sketches. Then he started doing like HQs in Kolaba. He would just take that room and even if 3 people showed up, he would be like, I'm going to do this regardless.
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah. And that's like now for me, when I'm a younger person, I see 10 people older than me at 17 doing it. So I'm like, okay, even if 3 people come, this might become better at some time. For someone like Saurabh Pant to just do it regardless, that takes guts, dude.
How do you think this all changed with YouTube coming in? Just IPs बन गई, लोग अपना crowd work डालते हैं. You also posted a video, I think as of yesterday or the day before yesterday, you posted a brand new video where अब क्या है, because you've been on so many platforms that have an online presence, people already know you. So are you seeing more and more warm audiences now? Like it's easier and easier to make people laugh because it's a set of people you already know.
It's a set of people I already know. ये तो मालूम नहीं है.
Sorry, they already know you.
They already know me. That helps. 100% that helps. But it also makes you lazy. Because as I said earlier, it was like these people have no context to me. I have to prove myself to these people.
Right.
So I have to go to a room of, like, the best fucking feeling was like a famous act has gone up and people have laughed, ha 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 ha. And then you follow him and nobody fucking knows you. So everyone is more like this.
Right.
And then you fucking kill the room. Right. Because these motherfuckers don't know you.
Right.
So like the good thing about becoming slightly popular, doing Comicstaan, being getting the advantage of social media is that people will buy tickets and it's profitable to do this more than before. But of course that that ego boost of going out of a fucking room and no one fucking knows me, and there's someone way more popular and I fucking crush that room. That's a different feeling. That's like you go back home feeling like, yeah, this is the art I'm born to do.
It's more purist कि भाई मतलब हम some stand up कर रहे हैं.
Of course, for business it's important that people know you, because this is show business. People should know you. People should buy tickets. But also then, if you're good, people will buy tickets. But after that, you still have to be good.
You have to be consistently good.
Yeah, you have to be good on the show also, right? Because like I'm here for an hour and you've still paid an entire fucking ticket.
Yeah.
So you're going to be like, okay, I've seen snippets of you online. Now I'm going to sit here. I'm going to let you take the wheel. If I'm lazy about it, they're going to go back home and say it's a bad show.
I've only watched a few stand-up comedy shows in my life. The first time I was bamboozled, मजे आगे देख के, was Rahul Subramaniam in 2018 or 2016 actually. I was a casting associate at like with the director. और मैंने कहा यार चलो मुंबई में stand-up comedy होती है, देख के आते हैं. Because I come from a smaller city near Delhi, फरीदाबाद. तो मैं जब गया देखने के लिए, the jokes he made in the room, they would never go on YouTube. Never. And the laughter I felt was truly from the belly. When you are watching something, तो अपने ऐसे phone पे पड़े गर्दन टेढ़ी करके सर्वाइकल करके देख रहे होते हो, ha stand-up comedy. Sometimes you're laughing, sometimes you're not. But the experience of being in the room as an audience is so much different.
That's why I don't give a. The problem is that's why I don't give a fuck about the videos anymore. Yeah. The problem is that people have to watch your videos for you to stay relevant, so people come to your shows. But dude, people don't understand that the fucking live show is something else. Yeah, it's something else, dude, because like the thing is not about that rehearsed bit, that written, that meticulous bit that I have put online. The thing is that I'm doing the bit and somebody's phone rings and I get pissed off with that fucking person because I was like, I paid for these fucking cameras. That's what makes people laugh, right? But that's not. It's too much context setting for someone to watch it
online, right?
Online, yeah.
Yeah, set everything up. Yeah. एक बताओ कि मेरा ये opinion है या फिर ऐसा वैसा, and then
so right. Like that. That's why I wanted to do Relationshit, because Relationshit is a longer format. Right. I can't make Relationshit and only put it as reels. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You have to watch it in the long format. I can put some reels, but you have to watch it in the long format, because in the start we set up some context. Then later on we bring that context back up. Somebody said something to someone that pissed something off. That has to build. That's what I wanted to do. Like the spontaneity of a fucking stand-up show is people don't realize it's not the written jokes. The jokes are also there. Right. But it's the moment. It's that thing that we make for that 1 hour. The energy of that room that we all share together.
And it's fine, it's loose, it's all over the place, that works, right? You don't want to be like, look at me, how tight my set is. It's like, देखो हम कितना सारा chaos create कर सकते हैं साथ में.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a bunch of episodes. I was mind blown, bro. Like the risks you take, and I always, मेरे को एक चीज़ बड़ी funny लगी कि I can see a bad joke that's not as funny, but then I see comics meticulously trying hard to make it funnier. कि एक छोटा सा premise मिल गया, उसके ऊपर एक बंदा ऐड करेगा, फिर एक बंदा ऐड करेगा, फिर एक बंदा ऐड करेगा. I saw the episode अभी recently where Shashwat Maheshwari and Uruj made a joke about like क्या कहते हैं, social media को खत लिखने वाली जो चीज़ होती है, something like that. I'm like, एक चीज़ है, इस पे एक बंदा, दूसरा बंदा एक, and it's weird because I know for a fact when you're trying to just इन दोस्तों के साथ बैठ के आप joke बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे होते हो, if one doesn't land, you keep at it. Right. You keep at it, and eventually it does. And I'm like, कितना छोटे से एक विंडो के अंदर कितने सारे लोगों ने जोक मार दिया to build energy. I thought that was very interesting.
But dude, I'm on the 4th season of Relationshit. This season I realized something because of one random person's comment, which was
on YouTube or
on
like
YouTube,
this?
On YouTube. And his comment was, bro, I've moved out of my house and I'm very lonely in this other country. Like I've moved to study. I don't have friends here. When I watch a show, it makes me feel like I'm hanging out with 4 of my friends, and that's my escape. Yeah. So that's what it's supposed to be. Like comedy is supposed to feel like that. Comedy, you're paying to be made to feel like that moment that just comes on its own with your friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too, because अगर like I see it with late night show hosts, अगर वो लव गुरु वगैरह खत्म हो जाएंगे ना, बहुत सारे लोग खुदकुशी कर लेंगे. उसका कारण यही है because like you don't know like कौन बंदा कहाँ ड्राइव करते हुए जा रहा होगा, क्या सोच रहा होगा, and like the fact that they can just tune into a voice on the radio or a show they watch on YouTube to feel less lonely, एक बड़ी weird चीज़ है. Like इतनी weird responsibility है that now all of a sudden people are relying on your shit to just
Yeah, someone's
fucking
probably
stay
listening to
alive.
this podcast, like,
Oh, several,
right now.
bro. I get so many messages ki if you stop doing it, I will. Like, man, बहुत मोटी responsibility है. Like, my God. Like, मेरे दोस्त नहीं है. But this is a real phenomenon, right? Like, we turn to the internet to feel less lonely now.
Yeah.
It wasn't the case at all. And I was just like seeing. Also, the episode with BeerBiceps was hilarious. Hilarious. Kudos to him for like getting on.
Dude, he's a sport, dude.
Right?
Listen, everyone in the comments is like, "Iski roast kar di, iski gaand maar li." But you gotta fucking look at how much of a sport he's being. No
Bro,
one's talking
he's
about that.
making no anti-you guys jokes at all. He's just like straight up मेरी vibe है मैं इसमें रहना चाहता हूँ. अच्छा तेरी ये vibe है अभी और ले, अभी और ले, अभी और ले, अभी और ले. Fucking nuts. No, so how did you like decide कि यार ऐसे YouTubers साथ collaborate करते हैं? Let's big the show up. Do you have a guest list in mind, or do you just like कि मेरे 4-5 comedian दोस्तों आ जाओ?
So my thing is that I mostly go on availability. Whoever's available on the day, I just put them. I don't plan ki this one will go with that one.
Yeah.
My whole thing is that I want to create chaos, however it happens. I've had most of the shows I have done for Relationship have always the discomfort. Like the discomfort of like I don't want to call two people who are popularly known as friends. Like I don't want to call Kenny, Karan and Abish. They already have a rapport. I want to call people who are outside of each other's comfort zone because I want you to look at the name and be like, wow, this is a random pairing. Because they are also uncomfortable. Because then everybody in that discomfort happens to say a lot more in front of a live audience because they feel like I have to be in that moment.
Right.
And once they are in that moment, once the show starts, it's a great thing. Right. So that's how I plan my thing. Yeah, sometimes it lands. Once in 10 times it doesn't. So I have those videos on my hard drive that I'll never put out.
मैंने वो उसी वाले एपिसोड के अंदर अनस भी बैठा हुआ था ना. इट्स सो फनी बिकॉज I've known Anas. I've seen his reels. He was on the podcast a long time ago. वो ऐसे वर्नैकुलर टाइप का, रिलेटेबल टाइप का, दिल्ली टाइप का है. ठीक है, यहाँ पे you've got Surabhi who's different, you who's different, and then BeerBiceps. वो पेयरिंग इतनी अजीब सी थी ना. वो मेरे को उसको खुद मैंने कहा यार अब इसमें अनस अपना कौन सा ऐसे आई नो इट ऑल टाइप का जोक मारेगा कि अरे यार खेत तो हमारे यहाँ होते हैं टाइप की वाइब में. यू नो लाइक he's got a very relatable like underhanded Delhi kind of comedy going on with him.
He killed it, dude.
Yeah. बहुत कम बोला, but whatever he said was
dude. No, उसने ज़्यादा बोला था. I'll tell you what happened. I had to edit that part out because the thing was that Anas, he starts this shtick where he goes, where he starts singing Dil Lagi, which is the song on the packaging. Mojo Jo song.
हाँ वो गाना शुरू कर देता है.
गाना चालू करता है. Okay, so that's because he's always he sends me random voice notes saying since many years आज का episode बहुत funny था, ये दिल लगी रे दिल लगी. So he sings that. Okay, so that's an inside joke that him and I have.
Yeah.
Right. He just decides to fucking do that on stage. Audience doesn't get it. He doubles down. Okay?
Oh my God.
So then the audience starts laughing like, why is this fucking guy just doing this? Okay. He starts doing that. Then he just gets into a zone where he starts singing random songs, and every time he does it, I'm like, bro, you're doing on stage while the audience is there. I'm like, you're doing fucking great. I request you, if you're going to sing these songs, I'm going to get a copyright strike.
Oh my God.
Please fucking don't sing songs.
नहीं गाना गा के भी copyright strike मिल जाता है.
I've heard. I don't know. I don't want to take a risk with these things.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But you will get, right? Because that's somebody's lyrics.
I don't know about that. I think हम लोगों को fact check कर दिया जाएगा comments में अगर हम गलत हो.
Yeah, we will find out. So then next season onwards, I'll allow Anas to sing. Yeah. So every time he sang, I was like, please stop fucking singing. So all he did was sing and these jokes which are there. So sing I had to remove.
Does alcohol help with being a better comic, or does it make you more sloppy?
I'm too scared to drink on stage.
Yeah?
Because I know that my friends have told me I'm way funnier drunk.
Yeah.
So I go on stage every day. So
you go on stage every day?
Yeah, every day. Because you have to go on stage every day.
You're going on stage in Mumbai or somewhere else 7 days a week. You're on stage.
Yeah, at least minimum 5 times a week. Though I'm on stage, right? Because like you're always workshopping material. You're always doing spots. You're going from one comedy club to another comedy club.
Is the routine tiring? यहाँ से वहाँ घूमना जाना ऐसा करना like.
Sometimes that's all that makes you feel alive, dude. As a comic.
Really?
Because you're waiting for that moment, right? In the day, I've written a fucking joke, and I'm like, I need to fucking try this. I need to fucking do this thing. And then you go on stage, and it either works or it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But it's like the thing about stand-up is like, it's like imagine like you fight at someone on the road when you're driving, and then you go back home and you're like, "Bhai, usko ye bol deta to acha hota."
हाँ.
But the best part about stand-up is I have one more chance now. So if I say something that doesn't land, and I in the shower next day, I'm like, उसको ये बोलते था तो अच्छा होता. So then I'm waiting the entire day now to go back and say the other thing. The other new joke I tried. Is that analogy making sense?
Yeah, of course, of course.
हाँ.
हाँ, मतलब वो same वाली वो चीज़ है that if you don't have a room, you just tell it to your friends, right? Like,
Right.
Like, look at this funny thing, look at this premise that I'm thinking of in my head.
Yeah.
But वो अगर वो audience receptive है तो ठीक है. Mostly like दोस्त कितने आपकी like I think with friends it's kind of easier to make them laugh because the reality is shared, right?
But also there's context to you. That's the thing. That's what I was talking about. Like after Comicstaan, people know that this is the kind of comedy he does. This is the kind of guy he is. Otherwise, it's a blank slate.
Right.
I mean, Comicstaan is like super popular, and I didn't realize how popular it is.
It's very popular. The new season just came out.
The new seasons also come out. Yeah.
यार there are so many talks about like free speech and whatnot in India. जैसे हम बहुत डैंग टाइप की कॉमेडी देख लेते हैं बाहर. बिल बर आके बोलता है देखो वो लोग कैसे हैं, राइट?
Yep.
और लोग आके अलग अलग बातें करते हैं.
हाँ.
I mean, feel free not to answer this, but like, why do comedians in India have to cross, like basically circumambulate such a wide variety of topics to just be funny? ऐसे, why is it hard to, like, sometimes you really have a joke that's funny, but you can't make that joke because, you know, like X,
But
Y, Z.
it's also fun. That's the fun, right? The fun is that bhai tusne ye bol diya. I would have only said this amongst my friends. Right? The point of doing these jokes is the risk, but also the risk in US is maybe people getting angry at Dave Chappelle.
Right.
On Twitter. But out here, as it is well known, the risk is probably someone wanting to fucking throw
Kill
acid on you.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And they don't leave you. They find out who your family is, and then they find out who your friends are. They find out where you live. I've heard like the scariest fucking stories from some of the comics when they've been like
Quote unquote cancelled.
in the middle of the rage. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a point when Kamra was in the middle of the rage.
Right.
When Munawar was in the middle of the rage.
Ron was also in the middle of the rage at some point.
Sorry?
Ron Joshi was also there.
Yes. Yeah. So I've heard stories from these guys which I mean I'm sorry, I don't know if I have the liberty to speak.
Of course not.
But like they're like scary stories where your life is at threat.
Right.
Correct. So of course you think 4 times more before doing something where your life is at threat. But also then there's a comic who does that joke that could get these people angry, but he does it in a way that they can't really point a finger at him. And but you as a viewer understands it and you're like, fuck, उसने कर दिया.
Have you seen Manik Mana's new special?
New special live? No, I haven't.
No, the three act thing that he does.
3 acts. Yeah, I think I saw the first one. I'm yet to watch the other 2.
He does one on police brutality where he says so many things, and I'm sitting with my friends. How did he get away with this? How was it? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect someone to get away with like saying really true stuff about the police in the most honest way possible in Hindi, and then staying with that tension and getting away with it. मैं कोई PIL, कोई FIR, कुछ भी नहीं. Crazy, just living his life.
Yeah. Because, dude, Veer Das was saying that he has a case on him because the case is because he wrote some show for Netflix where they said something bad about lawyers on the show.
Right.
It's a fictional reality, right? So some character said something about lawyers. So all the lawyers filed a case against
तो वो तो disclaimer में लिखा होता है ना, all things are fictional और वो सब चीजें.
That's what I'm saying. They're fucking lawyers. They saw that and they still got offended because they were like, we are such a good everybody wants to feel like, dude, the thing culturally out here, a lot of people want to feel like हमारा reverence किधर है? I have worked hard to get this reverence. People take themselves too seriously as a.
They want reverence in every form of media. Right?
Yeah.
Like अगर आप चाहो तो श्री करके बात करो, मेरा टाइटल लगाओ. They want to carry their inner circle jerking to the rest of the world.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is weird.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah.
Because कि आप तो श्री हो, आप तो इस चीज़ के सीनियर हो, उसे carry करो. Yeah, it's weird. Like all these strong unions and associations, when they try to like point at creative material और say कि यार ये गलत है, like this is not your job. That's you know, like your job is to do what you do.
Yeah.
You can't like superimpose your narrative on everything.
It's like getting angry that everybody in the room doesn't like you. It's that high school. It's so stupid. It is, and then like, imagine if like you're in school and everybody doesn't like you, so then you beat up the people who don't like you. That's what it is. It's so stupid.
Then you become a bully. Yaar, par have you performed abroad ever? Like,
I have I have dropped in to a comedy club when I went to Thailand. And that was fun because it was like Thailand has got like New York type crowd. New York type crowd, matlab everyone's from everywhere.
Right.
So it's not like you can do like a Haldiram aloo bhujia joke here. Because culturally everybody is different, right? So you have to find them on a level where everybody gets.
You can make ladyboy jokes. I think those will work. You can make like Indian man in Bangkok kind of jokes.
Yeah, you can, but like, also you. So like, okay, I went to Bangkok. Everybody knows that those are the first jokes. Like there's
it's easier jokes.
Yeah. So as an artist, you want to fucking push the envelope. I want to give them something that they haven't heard. And also me, who I've not had an upbringing. I've not gone to university where I've met people from different cultures for like 3 years and understood this. So for me, it was like, if a joke landed with those people, I was like, wow, universally, like as they say, laughter is universal.
Right.
That's a great feeling, dude.
So what was that like? The little drop in Thailand. What was that like?
Dude, it was I remember it like vividly, like because it was great. Because in the start, when I went on stage, because it's a dark room, right?
Right.
So when I did go on stage and I got called and I saw from stage you can see the audience, from the back you can't, and I was like, this doesn't look like anybody I know. Right. So
कोई Indian चेहरे दिख जाए एक आध.
So I tried to do a bit of crowd work. Just fine, dude. Like crowd work always in the start, it takes a minute, right?
Right.
And because I was dropping in, this wasn't my show. So I had to get done in 10 minutes. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I have to see if my jokes are good. Then I started like going into my jokes. And when my jokes started landing, I got even more confident with each joke. So my delivery got even more like in my zone. But did you
write these jokes for Thailand, or were these jokes that you...
Like a couple of like, you always do a couple of like local jokes that, there's a guy out here that everybody saw on the way in.
Right.
So that's a funny thing that, there's a guy out here, blah, blah, blah. What's the weather like, blah, 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 whatever. Something that everyone in the room currently knows about. And then go into my set, which is like actually written, workshopped.
But Mumbai ka set Thailand mein chal gaya?
Because I anyway, like, I haven't written something only Mumbai specific, right? Like, even my solo show, I've toured across India, right?
Right.
So, like, if there is a Mumbai reference, which now, all these years into comedy, I don't have only Mumbai references, because if I do, I know that ye Bombay mein kabhi show pe kar sakta hu, but that can't be part of my main set. Because if I put it on the audience, on the internet, half the audience won't even get it. Right? Outside of Bombay. So what's the point of this joke? The point of like the comedy is to feel like I went into a room of strangers and I could make them laugh.
When you go into a new city, do you always think about, yaar, yahan pe common points kya hai that I can use as an opening in my set? Like, aapka airport kitna bekar hai? Arey yahan ka weather.
That's always fun, right? Because you feel like, this guy is not just doing his mechanical set.
Right.
You feel like he's here. He's present.
You have to contextualize it to the audience.
Yeah, you contextualize a bit. It's always more fun.
What are some challenging cities that you've been to? Like where you felt like, yaar, main apne comfort zone se bahar ja chuka hu. This is clearly not my scene, but I still have to ace it.
I don't know if I felt like this yet. But like, of what like my management would always tell me was, because my stand-up is mostly in English. Okay.
Correct.
In fact, I used to do a bit of Hindi and English first, but now I'm going more towards English because this is my upbringing. I went to an all-Catholic school. My upbringing is I went to a school with all South Bombay kids. Okay, so these kids were always like, तूने Pokemon Hindi में देखा? तू चूतिया है क्या?
Right.
So for me, it was like I was always in the first formative years, I would learn and think and everything in English. Right. So English does come naturally to me. So my first thoughts, I wanted to be as authentic. Secondly, there was a bit of Hindi always in it, but then that becomes like a English-speaking Indian audience. Right.
थोड़ा बहुत चल जाता है उसमें.
हाँ, but like मतलब like all. So basically, my management would tell me that we can put you in tier 1 cities for tour. Right. And I would just take their word for it because I was like, they probably know. Like, and this I got signed by management after Comicstaan, but they would tell me that, right? But then if I ever did like in what is considered as a tier 2 city, like Jaipur is considered as a tier 2 city, I would go like, maybe it won't work here. But people fucking understand everything everywhere.
Yeah, because of the internet, because of people's like they're aspiring to be a better social class. They're aspiring to
but people understand because jokes are jokes at the end of the day. Even if your first language is not English, you know English.
Right.
Like because you studied it, right? My domestic help, the guy who works in my house, that day he picked up my phone and told me कि आपके लिए सागर का phone है. So he can also read English. Right. So everybody can understand a formulated sentence if they have had the basic education.
Correct.
Now you might not think in English, but if I talk to you in English and I've given you a joke that is funny, you will laugh. And that's what matters.
Yeah.
हाँ.
तो इसलिए ये नहीं है कि your comedy is just limited to like metropolitan cities. You can totally try it out.
I have learned this after becoming popular and after having the privilege of selling tickets in places that I would have been told कि ओ तेरा यहाँ पे नहीं जाएगा. भुवनेश्वर में किया, वहाँ पे मजा आया. तो but before that management would be like कैसे करेगा? Only tier 1 cities, only Bombay. So in my head I was made to feel like Bombay, Bangalore, Kolkata, Delhi. That's my whole career forever.
Right.
But it's
which is very limiting, right? Like
very
if you're
limiting.
starting out, like that's a dismal way to look at your career. यार मैं 4 city का ही राजा हूँ. मतलब I can't expand. You know, I just have to like make IPs or do some other things.
But thanks to the internet, dude, wherever you are, people will come watch you if there is an audience. Okay, and then also the thing with English comedy is that you have the advantage of being able to go to an Edinburgh Fringe.
100%.
You have a Melbourne Comedy Festival without having to write a new English set. Right? So for me, I know that like this is what I always do. So for me now, that's where I want to get into. I want to be able to like do that, like that Bangkok room where it's just strangers.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're an Italian man or you're a man from I don't know, Bihar, who's not had a tier 1 upbringing, right? But I want to be able to be like with basic English make everybody laugh because that's how I think I want my thoughts to be authentic. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you seen Flagrant?
The podcast?
The podcast with Andrew Schultz.
Huh.
I've been noticing this pattern. वो क्या करता है? He started doing this thing where.
I'm sorry. By the way, Schultz के कितने Indian fans हैं?
करो बहुत सारे हैं.
That's what I'm saying. This shit about अगर तू English में बात करता है, देखो ये नहीं मिलेगा, वो नहीं मिलेगा.
Very smart with his references. He knows exactly. He's got a mixed race crowd and he caters to it.
Yeah. But that's fun, right? Because even when I'm watching it, I don't know any Japanese people, but when he's doing crowd work with the Japanese person, I'm like, ऐसा भी होता है.
Yeah. He's very smart with like when I see his crowd work, his immaculate knowledge of different countries allows him to have fans from like anywhere from Saudi Arabia to like Sao Paulo. हर जगह जाके वो hit करता है.
But that's why they call New York the Mecca of comedy. New York is the Mecca of comedy because like anybody and everybody is in the room, so you have to make everybody laugh, and that's like you have to get off this fucking Haldiram aloo bhuja, Medimix. You have to make everybody fucking laugh.
Yeah.
Everybody in the room has to laugh. So it has to be a real human emotion, a real human experience.
Does being well-read help or no? Or like having had multiple life experiences, like in terms of storytelling, anecdotes वगैरह बताने में. Or you could be just.
Those are all different skills, dude. Like Bilbo always talks about how he hates reading.
Yeah.
All his knowledge is from just watching videos on YouTube because he hates reading.
Right.
From watching documentaries and this and that. It's being curious helps. Having an opinion helps because people want to to feel like, okay, here's the leader of our thoughts today.
That's such a crazy way to put it.
Yeah. Having an opinion helps. And you know what? It's not that you have an opinion and do this, yaar ye society badal do, yaar ye galat baat hai. That's not. It's just any opinion is fun.
Right.
Any fucking opinion is fun. Even Seinfeld, who's like the least controversial comic, has an opinion.
Yeah.
That why is it in that there was that famous joke of his that the washing machine is the nightclub for clothes. So with the minute you open it, they just look at you like they stop.
कोई गाली नहीं देता. I like how he's just used minimal like कुछ भी controversy नहीं करता. भी वो ओबामा के साथ भी कर पाया. That's another route that he took.
Obama के साथ क्या किया?
He could do a show with Obama, right? Like comedians in cars getting coffee. But he has to be that clean to make that many people come to him.
I mean, I would think that like it also depends on like Joe Rogan is in controversy all the time, but Joe Rogan can also get an Obama or a Trump. He has had Obama? No, he hasn't. Mark Maron has had Obama.
Mark Maron has had, but like it's an audio podcast, so no one knows about it. It's just a thing you hear, right? उसके भी आया होगा. Like ये कितना फर्क पड़ जाता है ना?
That's true.
Having a video element just changes everything up.
That's true. Yeah, I just assumed कि आया होगा because Joe Rogan पे तो कौन नहीं आया. I think he mentioned that Trump आने वाला था, but he said no to Trump.
मैं उसको वो नहीं करना चाहता. Enable. मैंने कहा enable क्या होगा? वो मजे आएंगे. Imagine like.
Dude, I want to hear a Trump podcast, dude.
So Trump was on the Full Send podcast.
Those three boys were there, na?
Yeah. Those crazy dudes.
That's the only episode I've seen of that Full Send podcast.
Yeah, they censored that, but it's crazy that they got the ex-president of the United States. कुछ भी करो उसको अच्छा मानो बुरा मानो वो था तो president था. And I think he's a true comedian in all senses. He's just like he's funny. He's funny.
He's got showmanship.
Yeah,
he's got solid showmanship. He's always got that look like I've got cameras around me, so I'm always going to make a snide comment, which is funny, which is very funny.
What I like about Trump is that he doesn't use nuance at all. He's like जनता को क्या चाहिए? We'll win so much, हम इतना जीतेंगे. मतलब वो क्या तुम लंबी चौड़ी speech writer से लिखवा के लेके आ रहे हो legalese कि हम healthcare education. I think at least the way I see international politics now, it's become more entertainment. It's a show where entertainers win.
वो कौन सा था वो idiocracy, you know?
Idiosyncrasy है होता है कि सबके वो जो
no there was that movie okay, I think it's we'll Google it. One second. Can I pick up a phone?
हाँ बिल्कुल कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
I'll Google the name. The movie was basically, it was made in the year 2001 or something. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was that the idiocracy.
I think idiocracy hogi if it rhymes with democracy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, it's called Idiocracy. Gotta watch this movie. So it's so what the story was that literate people want to have it opens with literate people want to have lesser kids because they know how expensive the world is. They know how much time and energy it takes into raising a child and not giving him the trauma that you have. Whereas people who are not literate are just like okay, वहाँ पे rednecks दिखाए those they're living in a farm and they already have like 8 kids, right? And they have like fucking 8 kids. So what they're showing is like 30 years later. I might be wrong about this number, but like in the future, okay, let's say the year is 2030. The year is 2030, and now the entire population is illiterate people, and people who are not wanting to have kids don't have kids.
That's crazy,
right? So which is why now they're voting for like showman people. Like they're not voting for a presidential candidate who they understand.
Right.
They're voting for this guy who Terry Crews, na? So Terry Crews becomes the president because he's a wrestler. Right. And then he just goes to the crowd on his presidential speech, tears his shirt, and does some fucking, some fucking WWE type of like poop, etc. But the people love that and they vote for him.
Yeah.
But he's a shit politician. So the country goes even more down.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the whole theory. And that's the truth that's happening here, that's happening in the US. That people will vote for you based on, bhai, what a speaker, yaar. The way he has charmed us today.
Also, the fact that, if you do something and then your social media guys cut it out well, like Trump roasts XYZ, अरे वाह क्या बात है, roast कर दिया, इसने तो है, यही है.
Yeah.
It's that kind of polarizing fun.
Yeah,
you want to watch.
Fun.
Like it's not like issues, मतलब बस जाके. I remember I was in a college class. It was on religion writing, like how contemporary लोग religious writing करते हैं खुद की personally.
Okay.
तो एक ऐसे
खुद की religious writing.
So if you're like a religious person, how do you do religious writing about your faith? Right, that was the class.
About your faith. I thought कि your propaganda, like
making
I
your
am
own
Osho and this is how you will love me.
Okay. Not that. So it was like different contemporary faiths ki different all across the world stories thi, right? Pretty fun stories. So one of these writers, his name was Jeff Charlotte. He wrote this story about how क्या कहते हैं, he was an ultra progressive guy and he went to a Trump rally और वो बता रहा था एक्सपीरियंस कैसा था. कहता मैं रैली के अंदर गया, वहाँ गाना चला बॉर्न इन द यूएसए टाइप का, रॉक और लोग चैंट कर रहे हैं लिबरल्स को मारेंगे करेंगे। वो जाके एक आंटी का इंटरव्यू करता है, आंटी तेरे को लिबरल को पसंद है, कह रही जा यहाँ से तेरे को मारूंगे नहीं तो, और स्माइल कर रही थी और लोग हंस रहे थे। मैं कहा भाई क्या क्या माहौल है यार, क्या माहौल है। It's the ability to make people feel okay with their base emotions on such a level.
And then you go out there and you feel accepted for being this thing that you thought would be ashamed for. Oh, Homelander का scene है ना?
Correct.
Yeah, it's the exact thing, right?
Yeah.
Where he kills the person in front of the crowd,
right.
But then they applaud him, so he's like, oh बहचोद मैं तो ये कर सकता हूँ.
हाँ, वो जब politically incorrect हो जाता है, and he does that whole thing. Yeah, it's like when a leader airs their dirty laundry in the world, you would shame him in the past. Now you're like, oh thank God, मैं भी अंदर से गंदा हूँ, चलो हम दोनों भाई हो जाते हैं. तो ये बहुत ही weird चीज़ है. Like I think that is why also comedy really allows you to be okay with like the darker parts of yourself. कि यार ये तो ऐसे बात कर रहा है, मतलब you know maybe there's something fine with me. Because no one wants finger wagging कि आपको ऐसा करना चाहिए, आपको वैसा करना चाहिए. When a comic shares like something that is deeply awkward and personal,
right?
It's like 3 other people come in, yaar, हाँ हमारी भी ऐसी कहानी है. Like do people come to you and say thank you after a show, like you changed my life, that kind of shit, or like just like you made me laugh?
I don't know if I don't remember if anybody has come to me and been like, oh this thing that you mentioned made me feel like, oh मैं भी ये करता हूँ and I'm secretive about it.
Yeah.
But like this has happened a lot, that I've gotten some like dark messages that, oh I'm terminally ill and your video just made my day, that I haven't laughed for like the last 6 months, which makes you feel like, wow, this is a lot more than what I was intending on doing.
Yeah.
Which is wholesome and nice because this person, but it's also like little sad because you just told me you're terminally ill, right? But I'm also like, okay, this is good. I didn't expect that this would be the.
Is there a switch in your head about like कि अब funny होना है, अब normal बातें करनी है? Like is it hard for you to like to see, because you're like being very sincere right now, ऐसे कि कोई वो नहीं, but I would assume like as a comic, does the instinct to joke not always remain in the background?
Yeah, but I was trying to be at my best behavior. I didn't want to be a dickhead. I know when I said terminally ill, you thought a joke was coming.
नहीं मैं वैसे सोचता हूँ ये चीज़. जैसे I'm not a comic, but jokes come to me all the time, and I crack them at the worst time also, just to get it out. I'm just saying. Right. So how if there is a filter?
I don't think I try to keep a filter. मतलब अगर मेरे को आता है तो I just say what I feel like saying whenever I feel like saying, dude. I believe that reverence of any kind is the enemy of society, is the enemy of life, right? So if I do have reverence की, oh ये joke यहाँ पे मत बोलो, वो joke वहाँ पे मत बोलो, it's little like it makes me want to pull my hair. So I don't think that I do that as a person, like police myself कि, oh यहाँ पे jokes मत करो, वहाँ पे jokes मत.
Right. You don't self-censor. Yeah. It's bad to self-censor, right?
I mean, what are you gonna get, dude? We've seen what's happening with censoring.
Yeah.
So what's the fucking point?
I'm just wondering, like how बहुत सारे content creators होते हैं, they're like, now it's time to be a rapper. And they do a rap song or a diss song, उनके लिए चल जाता है. Wow, भाई अब आप rapper बन गए हो, love your song.
कौन?
मैं कह रहा हूँ बहुत सारे content creator होते हैं.
Content creators,
तो वो सोचते हैं कि यार हम YouTuber हैं, चलो rap song भी बना देते हैं, है ना? और वो चल जाता है, it's great.
Yep.
Then you've got the Logan Paul types who enter like different industries. कितने सारे लोग ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो YouTube पे कॉमेडी स्केच बनाते हैं और like they're considered funny by people. पर क्या ऐसे लोग, can people like even me, can we translate our skills to comedy? Like say you come in as a YouTuber who's semi-funny whatever, and then you go to a comedy venue और like भाई अब हम comedy करेंगे. Like does that skill transfer at all, or like is being on stage so different from like being funny on camera? Like when
no, those things are funny for sure, different for sure. But that's not that one is less than the other, right? Like
no, I didn't mean that. I mean like क्या वो transferable है? Like for example अगर किसी ने already YouTube पे 2-3 साल लोगों को हंसाया तो उसके लिए stand up comic बनना आसान रहेगा कि यार नहीं अब तो जाके बस यही करना.
No, stand up is a different skill set that you have to take a beating and only then you'll learn. There's no way you'll not learn without a beating. And beating matlab you have to go there and do terribly, but still fucking keep doing it and come back and do it for years until you develop this subconscious skill of, okay, this is when I take the pause. This is this kind of room. They wouldn't mind if I say the dirtier thought, right? This kind of room, it's too soon to say the dirtier thought yet. Let's get them on my side first.
Right.
Those things subconsciously come to you. And That when it comes to you, then you know how to play a room.
Right.
So that is not something you can learn from being funny on YouTube videos, because that's playing a room.
Right.
That's like watching a musician, like, oh, I love this guy's music and I watched him live, but live is a different experience because
Correct.
Because वो Chris Martin जब Coldplay के stage पे भागता है और वो चिल्लाता है और वो
The songs sound different, right?
Yeah. Because that's the energy that he brings to the fucking table, right? That's how he keeps you entertained. That's how he makes you feel like I'm part of this buzz, this energy buzz right now.
How do you win a room though? मतलब मैं सोचता क्या तो तुम कोई एक ऐसे belief रखते हो, guys ये traffic बहुत बुरा है ना, बोलते हैं हाँ ये traffic is that, do you do like these?
I mean that's the simplest way of putting it.
Right.
The simplest way of putting it is to get them on your side. Correct.
Yeah.
Let them feel like, look, you're in a ship, and I'm
the captain now.
Yeah, I'm the captain now. So you fucking sit back and listen to your captain, because I'll make sure this ride is fun. So that's how it is. And sometimes you swerve the boat too much and you're like, "Behchut kya kiya?" So you have to get it back and be like, "Guys, relax." But that's a skill you learn. It's like riding a plane or driving a boat. You learn this eventually till you know that, okay, now it's safe to say that I can take them. Let them come on my boat, I will take them.
For someone starting out with stand-up comedy, should they go to open mics? Should they just start with that and write something, or just कुछ भी जाके बोलना शुरू कर दें?
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, first of all these actors want to fucking do this ना कि हम भी comedian है, because the point of stand-up is to make it look effortless.
Right.
To make it look like I just thought it, but it's not really that, right? I thought it, I wrote it, and I'm trying to the finesse of the craft is that I have to try to make it look like भाई हम तो खेल रहे हैं. मैंने तो ऐसे ही बोल दिया. The point is to make it look like it came out in the moment. So people think, moment में ही है. So these fucking content creators sell out like a 300-seater room and then they're like, "Bhaichut, कैसे करते हैं?" Because you can't. You have to fucking write it. You have to have the skill. You have to develop the skill, because playing a room is different.
I also think most actors make really bad jokes and people laugh out of fear.
Out of fear.
Yeah. Which is the weirdest thing, right? Like a horrible joke is made. Sir, kitne badhiya ho, kitne mahan ho.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird, right? Like it's just, they have a weird sense of, I'm very funny because everyone laughs at me. Like, are you really funny? Would you be funny in like a train?
Yeah,
no one gives a fuck, like, you know.
But that's why the comics who get more and more popular, their comedy skill set reduces. They stop being funnier.
Because they have no real life grounding, immersion.
No, but also because people just
laugh at anything you say.
At anything you say without you having to prove to them. You don't have anything to prove to them. Like, that's why Kevin Hart's first 3 specials are like gold. And everything he puts out now, even in the comments, that guy, he's selling out fucking arenas. But in the comments of whatever he puts, people are like, "Abey kya? When will this guy stop comedy? This guy should stop fucking doing that same shtick." Because you don't feel like you have to prove anything.
फिर Dave Chappelle जैसा इंसान इतने समय तक कैसे बैंक कर पाता है? How is he able to, like, he's been at the top of the game for so many years and still?
Because you have to, I mean, a lot of people don't think Dave Chappelle is funny anymore. But Dave Chappelle is also a little preachy also now. But I like that about him, because for me it's like the growth of this artist that I follow. But if the first thing I ever saw was him being preachy, I would be like, "Bencho, jokes to bata." Now I know इसको jokes आते हैं.
So he's built that place in your head where it's okay. वो अपनी messaging कर सकता है.
Now I know इसको.
जैसे Joaquin Phoenix आके Oscars पे बोलता है, भाई वो veganism करो.
Yeah.
ठीक है भाई, आप जोकर बन गए, आपकी सुन लेते हैं. But like.
सुन लेते हैं. That's what it is.
That's so funny.
That's what it is, dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the whole point is to want to prove yourself. And that's what drives you to be funnier. Because like, where do I get this? Where did I get the idea of being a comic from? From being a loser in school. From being this guy who could not play sports, was not great at studies, was not like a great looking kid. So all I have is sitting in the friend group and trying to fucking throw a joke here, throw a joke there until they like me. Okay? And now I know that, okay, this is how I'll make them like me. So, but if I know that every day I walk in, people are just going to like me, and people are going to like the bully will make a joke and people will laugh out of fear, as you said. he's not really going to try to be funny. He's not going to try harder on his joke. But the loser is going to try harder on his joke. That's what it is. Like, as I said, like, my school was filled with, like, rich kids, okay? And I was this poor kid who's, like, in the morning, like, this is, like, my reality was that मतलब मेरे बिल्डिंग में आज जो पानी का पंप है उसमें से आज पॉटी का पानी निकल रहा है and that I found out like 2 minutes into my bath. Okay? fucking the sewer ka water, sewage ka water.
Oh, I thought potty actually.
No, not actually potty, like sewage ka
right.
pani, which probably
still
has,
horrible, still
which
horrible.
probably has some
Feces,
potty in
yeah.
it. Yeah. Okay. so and then I go to this kid who's like, my chachi in US got me the CDs of Pokemon to watch in English, and you know what I'm saying. So I don't have to watch it in Hindi like you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is my reality. So my reality is, how do I fucking make these fuckers like me, right? So then it's like just to be the funny kid.
Yeah.
So then someone tells you that, oh, you're so funny, you should go be a comic. So when a comedy club opens, you go and try it. But out here, the context is that everybody's funny.
Right.
So you can't just count on being the funny person, because you have to count on being funnier now. So then you go and learn your skill better. And that's when you start becoming a comic per se.
ये जो बात होती है, this tried and tested thing, like आपकी जिंदगी में trauma आना चाहिए to be funny, is that accurate? Like, do you see there is some substance in that?
I don't know, man. I don't ask people. I don't sit with other comics and be like, who fucked you up? I don't give a fuck. I don't want to start that conversation because I know someone has fucked them up and they want someone to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah, on a lot of podcasts after I end them, it's like I'm an unlicensed psychotherapist for no reason at all. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But I think being very self-actualized, having good parents, having a good home, having security of money, being liked by your peers is, I think, I might be wrong, I think is not the recipe to be a funny guy.
Yeah. Because there are no stakes, really, if you think about it.
It's not the recipe to be a funny guy.
You can impress others by saying कि मेरा घर देख, मेरी ये चीज, मेरा वो देख.
No, you can be a confident guy. Like I don't know what Ranveer Singh's childhood was like, but he looks like he's a guy who knows, who's liked by his peers. Right. He looks like, of what I've heard, he's had money growing up. So this kid is still like a fun guy. A fun guy is little different from a funny guy.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. Because it's where the wit comes in. Like, he's fun to be around, but then he just doesn't do much. It's just like this person who brings in the energy, etc., etc. But not so much I put you in a dark place and I'm not going to take you out of it and make you laugh at the same time. There's two different things.
So as I said, you need to have like real opinions, right? And real opinions comes from cynicism. Cynicism comes from seeing like dhoka in life, from life. Right?
Yeah, it's like you know, jo cynicism wali baat, I saw like I think Jerry Seinfeld spoke about it on Tim Ferriss's podcast. Ki bhai yaar, you have to be a little irritated with the sense of the world, with the state of the world, to really be like a good comic, which I think is true. Because if you're okay, if you're content, I don't see how satisfaction can lead you to strive to say your piece, you know, in public. If you're satisfied, like I think dissatisfaction is the core of even doing this. कुछ तो बात होगी तभी तो आदमी बोल रहा है यार मैं अपना narrative impose करूँगा, बहुत हो गया.
Yeah, so that's all sorts of good artistic expression, right?
Right.
That ये जो तुम लोग कर रहे हो ये अजीब है. अभी सुनो मैं क्या solution दे रहा हूँ. And like it's just to point out something that's pissing you off, which is fun, right? Yeah. Because everyone is like the working class hero is also pissed off with the system, but he doesn't have the time to voice it.
Right.
He doesn't have the place to voice it. So when he's on his way back from work, putting on like a video and he sees somebody voicing it, he feels validated, and that's the fun of doing it.
Yeah, it's very weird how you can be the voice for people's unconscious desires and unconscious things.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. Yeah, bro. Well, it's been great having you on Dostcast.
Yo, thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, thanks. बहुत हमने ऐसे state of comedy और ऐसे like breakdown of routines इस तरह की ऐसे काफी बढ़िया बातचीत कर ली. So people can follow you on Raunaq Rajani.
Sir Raunaq Rajani on Instagram.
Why? Because you've bought a piece of land in Scotland.
No, the Queen knighted me.
अच्छा.
Yeah. and I used to teach maths to children.
Really?
Yeah. No.
मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा ना कि if you're being serious or not. Yeah. Bro, just by the way, अगर आप कभी sir बन जाते हो ना किसी के, you are in this death reputation trap that you can never escape. Then you want to be a sir and everything. I've seen this. All the sirs I know, like they can never be caught having sex or saying a bad thing. क्योंकि आप तो sir हो ना.
How do you know sirs?
I know sirs.
Like knighted by the Queen, sir?
Oh, not like regular sir, math sir, physics sir type के, like that one.
All the sirs I know.
मतलब आपकी ना वो परसेप्शन इतनी स्ट्रांग होती है जब आपको लोग सर बोलते हैं, आप किसी के बड़े भैया बन जाते हो. Especially on the internet, if you're someone sir or बड़े भैया, good luck escaping that, you know. Because like what if you're like, going at it with like 3 dudes in a room, like, और तुम कर रहे हो नहीं पर सर ऐसा थोड़ी कर सकते हैं. I think वो जो रेपुटेशन का वो होता है ना, it's just so strong.
But that's exactly what you're talking about. That's what you're talking about is that you become the voice of people, which is fun.
Right.
But also it's scary because then people become. See, as a comic, I'm not your guru. I'm here to fucking chase the joke and say my opinion as a joke. If I can say my opinion as a joke, though, that's a plus. Okay. But if I become your guru, then that's a problem because you're going to have this expectation from a comic.
Yeah.
Whose point is who gets paid to fucking make dick jokes. So that's on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Don't take it seriously. So people can follow you on Sir Raunaq Rajani on YouTube, just Raunaq Rajani.
Yes.
And your IP, Relationshit Advice, is out every Thursday.
Up until the last Thursday. It takes too much time to make it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it takes too much time and money to make it.
You do it once a week?
So I do like this is the 4th season. So 4th season is over now.
Okay, so you batch record?
Yeah, I batch record and then it takes me a lot to edit.
You edit yourself?
Mostly yes. Achha. I don't know technical editing. I don't know camera switching and stuff. But I know okay, this joke stays, this joke. Okay. This joke is too risky.
So you have to edit material out yourself.
Yeah.
Sahi. But yeah, bro, fun talking to you.
Fun talking to you, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Right?
We just shook hands with the camera. I hate this guy. He's all over my fucking algorithm, dude. Please like, share, subscribe to this video and everything on this channel. Please follow Vinamre. Please follow Dostcast. And keep watching, keep supporting independent work. Because
thanks, guys. We're trying to stay indie.
Because I'm trying to support this young artist Vinamre.
Thanks.
Because he doesn't want to directly tell me to give this shout out, but his management has asked me to do it.
I totally want you to mentor me, and then I can let you touch me as well.
That's true. मैं इसका sir बन गया हूँ.
It is.